Hello friends, this is Zahir. I welcome you to another episode of Accounting Lessons. In this session, we will talk about how to record financial transaction, that is journaling process. So without any further ado, let's get into it. First of all, you should know what is journaling. Journaling in accounting is the first book where a financial transaction is recorded. Before journal, there is no book. When a transaction takes place, at first it is recorded in the journal. In the journal, every transaction is recorded based on its date. Then, after analyzing the transaction, it is segregated in debit and credit amount and put in the journal book. In very shortly, we will learn how to record financial transaction in journals. But first of all, you should know what are the necessary information you need. As I told you, you need the date of the financial transaction, amount of the financial transaction, and you have to be able to analyze the transaction to know the debit and credit accounts. So guys, now that you have understood what is journal, let's solve some problems. In the description, you will find links to two files. Please pause the video right now and download the first one. So guys, now that you have downloaded the file, just open it in a separate window, just print it out and follow the video. I have tried my best to explain each and every financial transactions and how each and every account have moved to debit or credit. So after this video, I hope you will have no issues in journaling. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So our first transaction is Z invested 50,000 in the business. So Z invested, that means it's a capital for the company and invested by Z, and capital is part of equity. And as you already know that equity when increased, they are debit. Capital has increased, so equity has also increased, so it is credit. At the same time, 50,000 worth of cash has already come to the business, and cash is asset, and as you know, asset when increased, it's debit. So we have found both debit and credit account that is required for a journal entry. Now let's draw the form of the journal. Every journal book will have these columns. First, there is date. The next column is particulars, then ledger number, then debit and credit column. Amongst these, debit and credit column are for the amount that are associated with each debit and credit accounts. So here particulars. Here in this column we will write all the accounts. So at first we have to put the date. You have to remember for every transaction we have to put the date. So first of all, we have to put the debit account. For every transaction that we journalize, we have to take debit account first. So cash debit, and the amount is 50,000. So under debit column, because it's debit account, so under debit column we will put the account and we'll leave the credit column, and then the credit account, that is Z's capital. So we can write Z's capital, our account, which is a credit account, and we will leave the debit column and we will straight go to the credit column and we will write the figure. Then for every transaction we have to put a short description or short note. It has to be very simple, understandable and informative. It has to have the information that is required. Here I am writing Mr. Z has invested 50,000 to the business. The next transaction is purchase of factory machinery worth 20,000, issuing a note payable in 3 months. So factory machinery has been purchased, and to purchase the factory machinery we have issued 20,000 worth of notes payable. Since it's notes payable, so we are not paying any money at this moment. For the machinery that has been purchased, we will pay at later time. So we have created a liability because we are not paying right now, so it's a liability for us, and liability when increased, their credit. And at the same time, since factory machinery has increased, which is an asset, as when assets are increased, they are debit. So here also we have found both debit and credit account. Let's put the debt first, then the debit account. Here factory machinery. So factory machinery, debit. Then we can put the figure in under debit column, that is 20,000. Then we can write the credit account, that is notes payable. Since we are issuing note and which is payable at later time, so the account title is notes payable, very common title, and amount is 20,000 under credit column because it's credit account. Then the short note, you have to remember to put the short note every time, otherwise your numbers will be short. Acquisition of factory machinery, issuing a notes payable, that's it. We will go to our next transaction. Our next transaction is purchase of inventories for cash 5,000, and that is 3rd January. So inventories has been purchased. Inventories are assets. Since purchase they have increased, so debit. And at the same time we had to spend 5,000 amount of cash, so cash has deducted, cash has reduced, so assets has been reduced, so credit. Because asset cash is going out, so overall asset will also decrease by 5,000, so we have to put it under credit column. So first put the date, then debit account, that is inventories. Debit, and the amount is 5,000. And then we will skip the credit column and we'll go to the credit account, that is cash. Cash has been deducted, so cash credit, and the amount is 5,000 under credit column. And then we will put a short note or description, that is purchase of inventories for cash. So now we will go to our next transaction. Our next transaction is sale of finished goods for cash and on credit. Here we have to put two journal entries. First one is for sales on cash and credit. First of all, sales. So sales has increased, so revenue has increased. Revenue is part of equity. When increased, their credit. At the same time, we have also received some cash, that is 4,000, and cash is assets, as you have already heard. And asset, when assets are increased, they are debit. At the same time, some of the sales was on credit, and so therefore we have not received any cash at this moment for this 2,000, but this 2,000 we will receive at later time. And the account we will use is accounts receivable. Whenever we have a sales that is on credit, we have to put it under accounts receivable. Later, when we receive the cash, we will deduct accounts receivable and we will increase cash. So accounts receivable is an asset, and when increased, it is debit. So here also, put the debt first, then both the debit accounts. Here we have two debit accounts. One is cash, that is worth 4,000. Then accounts receivable, that is also debit, and the amount is 2,000. We will put under debit column 2,000. So here we have two debits but only one credit, but the debit and credit, total of the debit and credit will be equal. So here revenue, credit, and the amount will be 6,000, because total revenue is 6,000, out of which 4,000 we have received and 2,000 we will receive at later time. So it was the first transaction. So write a short note: sale of goods for cash, or sale of finished goods for cash, sale of inventories for cash. You can write any of these. I have used sale for cash and on credit, though I should have used sale of inventories or sale of goods for cash and on credit. So here now the second transaction is on finished goods. At first, when we purchased inventories, that means raw materials, we incur some costs. For example, direct labor and manufacturing overhead. To convert this cost or to convert these inventories to finished goods. So when we sell goods, we reduce the overall amount of inventories, because goods have been sold, and inventories are assets. When sold, assets, overall assets position will decrease, so it's credit. And as we have already discussed seconds ago, that to convert raw materials to finished goods, we must incur some costs, and the costs are conversion costs, and these costs are called cost of goods sold. That means the cost that we have incurred to make any good, any raw material in a condition that is ready for sale. And in short, we can write cost of goods sold. That means which is an expense, and we already know when expenses incurred or expenses increase, they are debit. And here we have total revenue of 6,000, but it is the retail value of the finished goods. But the retail value contains some profit margin. Here we assume that 10% profit margin was added with the retail value. So our retail value is 6,000. So deducting 10% will be the cost, that is 5,400. So the value, cost of the goods sold is 5,000, as well as the value of the inventories will be 5,400. So here we write the second journal entry, that is cost of goods sold debit to inventories credit. First of all, cost of goods sold is debit account, and the amount is 5,400 after deducting the profit margin. And then inventories, since after sales overall inventory position has reduced, and the amount will be 5,400 under credit column. And you can write a short note that cost of goods sold incurred, or cost of goods sold has been incurred. It has to be very simple and easily understandable, yet informative.